Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm making this video to talk a little bit about Apple's direction and how Apple devices like the iPhone have changed to the point where users like myself have completely... I stopped using iPhones when I got to the iPhone 11 Pro. It was the 11 Pro Max and I gave up completely, and that was mainly because of emulation. I couldn't do any emulation, and there was a lot of other reasons why I stopped using iPhone. But another big part of that reason is in 2019 I opened a business repairing laptops, phones, tablets, computers. I'm a computer scientist by my degree, and everything is in computer science. I work for a defense contractor and I also run a business. So I've been repairing devices, lots of different devices. I've not shown as much of the repairs on this channel, but it will come eventually after I've sorted this office out. There's too much kit and I need to set up a proper dedicated space to film and record. But I have got some footage that I'm going to share with you in this video about the iPhone 12. So a bit of the backstory to this is two of our closest friends, one of them had an iPhone that they dropped, and this is the iPhone 12. I'll bring the model up in a minute and tell you a little bit about it. Well, they had cracked the back glass. That was the first problem with it. So knowing that I repair devices, we were talking, and I said, yeah, that should be okay. I can, do that, replace it. The reason I said that was about 3 or 4 months before, my uncle, his iPhone 7, the screen had cracked on it and he wanted it replaced. And I'd managed to do that repair within about an hour. It was so straightforward and simple. So, forgetting how Apple have changed their devices so much to be unrepairable, I agreed to do it. So, first of all, you need to take the screen out of the iPhone. Now, in the iPhone 12, they've added some adhesive. It's basically an extra strong adhesive that's a sealant for the iPhone. And I have lots of different devices to take screens off phones. I've got a heat pad, that I put the phone on, make sure that it's all warmed up evenly. Now, I've got a Samsung here, this Samsung, that is going to have the back replaced on it because the seal or the sticker is basically just worn off. So it happens and it needs replacing. So you just get a new sticker, heat it on, and it basically sticks. But when you're taking the screen out of the iPhone 12, because it is so sticky, this stuff, you end up damaging the screen. Now, like I said, I've got special devices to do this. I've took hundreds of screens out of phones. Very rare that they damage the screen when you take it out, when you do it carefully and everything. So the screen got damaged, so I felt awful. So we then had to go get a new screen. The new screen arrived, and I thought, right, I can crack on with the rest of this job. So, first of all, taking it to bits. Everything has to come out to go into the new housing. So it's got a new screen, new housing. Now, the way that iPhone have designed it, everything, even the flex cables, are all stuck to the back of the iPhone. So you've then got to reheat it, and literally with a plastic pry tool, pry them up. So this is very time consuming. I reckon so far I've spent 3 straight days on this, and I'm quick at repairing. I mean, I repair hundreds of devices. I'm pretty quick, but you have to be so careful with these devices because you don't want to cause extra damage. One of the problems with them is what I'm going to share with you now, and that's even the buttons. Even the buttons, Apple have put things in there to make it so blooming difficult to repair. And this is a well-known fact about Apple and the self-repair and all of that. Lewis Rossman has done some great work trying to push for some change, and I know other repair companies have, other repair spots have as well. But it's got to a point now that if someone brings me an iPhone, I will not, past the iPhone 7, I will not repair it. Mainly because of the time and how time consuming it is to do. So let's look at these buttons and we'll take it from there. Okay, so I'll kind of talk through what this is. So this is the power button, and as you can see here, I know the footage is a bit a bit shaky, and that's mainly because I'm recording at the same time while playing a video. But you can see here that you've got three locking devices that are attached to this button. You've got this long bar, which you have to get out first. Then behind that is another device, which is where my mouse is, this secondary device, and that you have to unclip from here and then unclip from this side, which then gives you access to two pins which you can push in, and that releases the button. But these things are rock solid to get out, and you're talking, this is under a microscope at like 100 times zoom, so you can see. And that's not, this is the power button, there's two of these for the volume. This alone, I was here for about 2 or 3 hours. You see, you can't just go all guns blazing and use a lot of force on it, because you'll break it. So you're also trying to be delicate at the same time while unclipping and trying to get this out. Now I have got this one done, but it's so time consuming to just sit there repetitively and try and unpick this tiny pin, and then the next one, and then the next one. If you compare that to something like a Samsung device, the Samsung devices are really straightforward, and it's simply a clickable power button. Behind that there's a little bit of a seal to stop water getting in if it's a waterproof phone, and then just the push buttons. And they're just so straightforward to repair. Like if I take the back off this again, I know the camera doesn't exactly do it justice, but everything is accessible. Everything is accessible. It's just so much more straightforward to repair. Now, I'm interested to know what your comments are, if you do repairs, or if you've had a phone repair and the phone shop has said it's going to take a week, and you're wondering why does it take a week. Well, I hope this video can kind of explain a little bit more about why these things take so long. I have got some more videos, specific videos on how-to repairs and the guides. Again, I'm going to be concentrating on that once I've got the setup up and going for there. I'm just waiting on a relatively good camera to come, and then I can fit that and film some of these repairs, because some of them get really interesting, and some of the rants are actually quite funny as well. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I know it's only a short one today, but I just would like to know your comments and what you think about Apple's direction and the way it's going with its repairs, or lack of repairs I should say. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.